Hello and welcome to another video for Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today, well, we're looking at something that is very old, very collectible, and incredibly difficult to find these days, especially in this mint, unopened condition. Now, we are looking at the 1969 release by Chemtoy from their series of movie viewers. And this particular one we're looking at today is from the classic 1960s television series Star Trek, which starred William Shatner as Captain James T. Kirk, Leonard Nimoy as Mr. Spock, and DeForest Kelley as Leonard McCoy, or Bones. And so it's all based on the original television series. And it comes with a couple of movies from said series. Now, we all know that Star Trek was an American science fiction television series. It was created by Gene Roddenberry, and it follows the adventures of the USS Enterprise, or Starship Enterprise, NCC 1701, and its crew. And it's set in the Milky Way galaxy about 2269, 66 to 2269, so it's set 300 years into the future. The ship and the crew are led by none other than Captain James T. Kirk, aka William Shatner. His first officer and science officer, Mr. Spock, the Vulcan Mr. Spock, who was played by Leonard Nimoy, and obviously his chief medical officer, as I said, was played by DeForest Kelley, and that is Bones, or Leonard Bones McCoy. The interesting part about the show's entrance was William Shatner's voice introducing during the opening credits about the mission. He says, "Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before," which became a iconic opening and followed into Star Trek The Next Generation with Patrick Stewart doing the voiceover at the beginning. Now, the series was produced from 1966 and it aired from 1966 through to 1969. It was first broadcast on September 6, 1966 on Canada's CTV network. While on NBC, Star Trek's Nielsen's ratings were low, and the network cancelled it after just 3 seasons and 79 episodes. In the UK, the series was broadcast it wasn't broadcast until July 1969, which coincided with the Apollo 11 mission to land the first humans on the moon with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. But through syndication and reruns, the series achieved massive success and a very much a cult following. And it eventually spawned a huge media franchise, and obviously because they're now right up to date, consisting of about 11 television series, 11 different television series, and 13 feature films were produced, and numerous books, games, toys, figures, and so on were all produced based on that original television series. So 79 episodes produced, each running for 51 minutes over 3 seasons. Incidentally, quite low budget really in comparison to what you experience these days. So for season 1 there was $190,000, for season 2 was $185,000, and season 3 was $175,000. So that was the total budget. Nowadays I think Star Trek The Next Generation was something like $2.5 million per episode, but there we are, that's how times changed. Anyway, this particular item we're looking at today is the movie viewer, as it is in front of us. And it says, movie viewer, Star Trek, your own movie show featuring TV favourites. And there you've got that image of Captain Kirk on his command chair with Dr. McCoy behind him, Mr. Spock at his side, and behind them at the communications console is the gorgeous Lieutenant Uhura. And just behind the bubble you can see the movie viewer and the 2 movie films. It says movie viewer and Star Trek stories, 1967 DeSello Productions Inc. or rights reserved. See other side for directions. And it's item number 329 and in brackets 225. Not quite sure what that means. Okay, and this also has the original price tag up there from 1969, and it was sold by a shop called Key One, and it was for 57 cents. So yeah, quite a small amount of money back then, but was 57 cents a small amount of money back in 1969? Don't know. Anyway, let's turn the card around and see what we got printed on the back. Okay, so I flipped the card over and this is what it shows you on the back. So it says movie viewer featuring Star Trek, and there's an image of the USS Enterprise, and this is a Chemtoy corporation, and it shows you how to do. So directions, it says pull viewer apart, insert film as shown with leader frame extending below viewer, and it shows you the sprocket holes. It says be sure sprocket holes on the film line up with gear teeth. So there's obviously teeth on the gear for the sprocket holes to line up with and sit on. It says close viewer, leaving a small space open at the bottom for the film to ride through. You can see on the picture it says film opening. And it says view film as shown, follow story by either turning knob clockwise or slowly pulling film out of the bottom. This card contains viewer and episodes of this exciting subject. So there we are. So that's the back side. Let's turn it back around and have another look at the front. Okay, so I've turned the card back around to the front. I've zoomed in to the viewer itself, and there you can see that section comes off. This pulls off, and the films run around in those gears there. And it says you leave a section open at the back there, which is there, and you tug that film through, or you turn the handle for the film to come through. So there's 2 movies that come with it. It's got roll 1 and roll 2, and they're in these little boxes, but it doesn't tell me what episodes these are from. So, but I'm guessing they're taken from the TV series. I would have imagined so. I can't imagine it being not from the television show. So, but yeah, sadly I say we don't have one open, so we can't actually view it and see what comes in there. But let's get some sizes. So the viewer measures about 7, maybe 8 centimeters in width at its widest point. Height wise, we are measuring about 4.5 centimeters from bottom to top, and width wise we are measuring about 2 centimeters widthwise. And as I say, it comes with those 2 films, and it's kind of like a Viewmaster, I would imagine, where you pull the instead of pressing the button, you pull the film through, or you turn the wheel to watch it move along. So I'll imagine it's stills like that. So you see different images, different still images taken from that TV episodes. Okay, now you're going to ask me, how well did these do back in 1969? Well, Star Trek had hit syndication in 1969. It had finished airing, but it was being syndicated and became quite popular. So it did start to spawn a lot of merchandise. So there was, anything to do with Star Trek was available. So there was books, there was annuals, there was toys, there was action figures, there was play sets, there was t-shirts, there was bags, there were all sorts of things. Lots and lots and lots of merchandise was spawned by Star Trek, and it's never stopped being produced. Even up to today, there's still lots of merchandise being produced for Star Trek. Some stuff still on the classic series, some still from the Next Generation. More items these days on the current series, which is Strange New Worlds and Star Trek Discovery, although I think both of them have, or certainly Discovery is finished now. I think Strange New Worlds is about to come to an end, but there's merchandise from really all of the episodes being produced and still bang up to date. But these, well, yeah, I don't really know how these done. This wasn't an item that was released into the UK. These were more items that were released into the US. And obviously this one has found its way over to the UK. And this was part of a collection that we bought out from a gentleman who had decided to sell his collection after many, many years of collecting, decided it was time to sell his collection, and he sold it to a toy and comic book shop, and it sat on their shelves for a few years before we went in and bought out all their stock because the toy and comic book shop closed down. That's the history that I got behind quite a few of the items that they had, which were old and rare. So as you can see, this item is unused, unopened and rare. But I'm assuming that they produced a number of these, and they would have been one of those toys that you used as kids, watched it, played with it, and then I suppose eventually you would have thrown them away. They're only plastic. I'm sure they weren't made to last the test of time. I don't know whether additional films were available that you could go and buy. I'm sure there probably would have been at the time, but I don't know, and I haven't seen any other films available. Okay, let's move forward to 2025. So we're moving forward 56 years. Do these items come up for sale very often on the platforms? And the answer to that, quite simply, is no. I did have a look on the platforms and I couldn't find any of these in the UK. I did look in the US, and I did manage to find 2 or 3 that were available in the US. Again, very old. Some were open, some were still sealed, like this one. So yeah, I mean, you can get them like this on the platform if you would like to order it from overseas, or if you're in the US, you can obviously, it's much easier if you order it there. But not commonly available. So I think there was 2 that were opened, that they had them apart, and the other 2 that I saw were still factory sealed, as this one is. So to summarise, no, they don't come up for sale very often, certainly not in the UK. And when they do, I would suggest you buy them quickly, because they're not going to be around for very long. And obviously, same old thing, you buy on a platform, be careful. Different opinions on different quality. So somebody's idea of very good condition could be somebody else's idea of acceptable. So do be careful, read the descriptions and look at the images to ensure that what you think you're ordering is what you're going to receive. And don't forget, some of them platforms also use stock images and stock descriptions. So you could be looking at an item like this, but there's none available new. So it automatically goes to the cheapest used item, and that may not be something that you want. It could be something that is loose, no films, just a viewer, or it's just a film, one film and the viewer, or I don't know, all sorts of different reasons. So be careful. If it doesn't say new and it's got used, click that used icon and read what you're about to order to save any disappointment when the item arrives. Stupid system, I know. Not the fault of the seller, not the fault of the buyer, just a crazy system. I honestly don't know why they did it that way, but that's the way they work. Or alternatively, you don't need to go through any of that rigmarole. You can come straight to us at Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles, where what you see in front of you is exactly the item you will receive should you wish to order it. And if we have different conditions, they are listed under completely different products, and you can only order the item that you are looking at the time. You can't order something different if you're not looking at it. So there's no way you can order something that you don't want. And this particular item, as of today, it is available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Star Trek items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because you're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody. And I'm absolutely positive this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there is something in particular you're looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories. So stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful vintage Star Trek movie viewer with me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next video. So bye for now.